So if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, you might have had a rude awakening recently. Some of your favorite channels, poof, gone. Today we're going to get into the wild story of how this billion-dollar corporate fight just blacked out screens for more than 10 million homes.
Okay, let's set the scene. You know how it is. It's Monday night. The Eagles and the Packers are about to go head-to-head. You've got the snacks ready, you've claimed your spot on the couch, you're all set. You grab the remote, fire up YouTube TV to get ESPN, and what do you get?
Nothing. Just a blank screen. Instead of the kickoff, you're staring at this cold little message that says something like, "This channel isn't available because of a dispute." And just like that, your living room just became collateral damage in a huge corporate war.
So, what in the world actually happened? I mean, this wasn't just some technical glitch. Oh no. This was a calculated, full-blown blackout that literally left millions of people staring at a dead screen.
And let's just talk about the scale of this for a second. We're not talking about a small outage here. This thing hit over 10 million subscribers all at the same time. I mean, that is a massive slice of the entire streaming world.
And look, this wasn't just about sports either. I know, losing ESPN during football season, that's a gut punch for fans. But it was so much more. This blackout took out your local news on ABC, your favorite shows on FX, all those cool documentaries on Nat Geo, and, yep, even the Disney Channel. The entire Disney package just vanished.
So the big question is why? Why did this happen? Well, like most things in life, right? You just follow the money. It all boils down to a massive billion-dollar fight over something called carriage fees. And we're going to break down exactly what that means.
Okay, so here's the deal. For YouTube TV to even show you a channel like ESPN, they have to pay the owner, in this case Disney, a fee for every single person who subscribes. It's called a carriage fee. And ESPN, it's the king of these fees. We're talking up to $12 per person per month. That one fee, that's the absolute core of this whole mess.
So this basically created a standoff. You've got Disney on one side saying, hey, our costs are going through the roof. That NFL deal alone costs us billions a year. You need to pay us more. Then you have YouTube TV on the other side saying, look, we'll pay a fair rate, but what you're asking for is just crazy. It's not fair to our customers. And, well, neither side would budge, so boom, the channels went dark. And you can bet the reaction from viewers was, well, it was fast and it was furious. This one post from X pretty much sums up what thousands of people were feeling. You know, people are thinking, I'm paying $73 a month for a service that's suddenly only half a service? No way. And they were definitely not shy about pointing fingers.
And you can see where most of that frustration was aimed. This poll makes it pretty clear. A big majority, 60%, blamed Disney, basically calling them greedy. The other 40% were either unsure or blamed YouTube TV. And believe me, that kind of public opinion, that's a huge piece of leverage in these kinds of fights.
Now, if you're thinking, wait a minute, haven't I heard this story before? You absolutely have. This is nothing new. Just look at this timeline. These kinds of disputes happen all the time. Disney has gone to war with Cox, with DirecTV, and remember that huge 10-day blackout with Charter? That was just a couple of years ago. This is a playbook they run over and over. Okay, so YouTube TV is looking at a potential mass exodus of angry subscribers. They had to do something and they had to do it fast. And what they did? Well, it was simple, it was powerful, and it was a really smart move. $20. That was it. They offered every single one of those 10 million affected subscribers a $20 credit on their bill. Sure, it's an apology, a little sorry for the mess gesture, but it's also a genius PR move, right? It makes them look like the good guys, the ones on the consumer's side, and it puts all the pressure right back on Disney. And they made it super easy to get, too. If this happened to you, all you gotta do is log into your account, find the update section in your settings, and just click to claim the credit. Super simple. A quick way to get a little something back for all the hassle.
All right, so the credit is nice and all, but let's be real. What if you just want to watch the game? Let's get practical. Here's your playbook for how to actually get around the blackout and see your shows.
So the most obvious move is just to switch services, right? Even just for a month. If you're a huge sports fan, Fubo is probably your best bet. If you've got a family, Hulu plus Live TV makes a lot of sense since it's already in the Disney family. And if you're trying to save some cash, Sling is always the go-to budget option.
But wait, there are other options too. A few little hacks. You can actually get an old-school over-the-air antenna for pretty cheap and get your local ABC channel for free. Or you could just subscribe to the ESPN app by itself. And here's a pro tip. Don't forget you can just pause your YouTube TV subscription so you're not paying for it, and then just hop on a free trial for another service to tide you over. Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute. What does this one single blackout really tell us about the future of streaming? Well, it's basically a perfect snapshot of what's happening in the streaming wars. It's an intense, high-stakes fight for your wallet.
You got the giants, right? Netflix and Amazon Prime, they're way out in front with subscribers. But Disney is still a massive player, and they're fighting tooth and nail to keep their spot. And that's why this is so important. For them, every single dollar counts, especially the money they get from these carriage fees from places like YouTube TV. It's a critical part of their whole business plan.
And this right here, this is the key to the whole thing. The streaming market is basically full. Just about every household that wants a streaming service has one. Growth has slowed to a crawl, so these companies can't just go out and find millions of new customers anymore. Instead, they have to fight harder to squeeze more money out of the customers they already have. And that's exactly why these fights over fees are getting more and more common and way more aggressive.
Which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. Remember why we all cut the cord in the first place? It was for choice, right? For freedom from the big cable bundles. But now, when you see these giant companies getting even bigger, forcing new bundles on us and using blackouts as a weapon, you kind of have to ask yourself, in the end, how much choice do we really have left?